On a scorching August afternoon in the year 378 CE, the fate of an empire was decided on the blood-soaked plains near Adrianople. For nearly 1,000 years, the mighty Roman military machine had been the most feared fighting force in the ancient world. Legions of iron discipline, engineered for victory, their standards casting long shadows across 3 continents. But on this day, the unthinkable happened. The invincible facade would crack. The echo of Roman boots, which had marched triumphantly for centuries, would be drowned out by the thunderous charge of Gothic warriors. This was the moment when a single battle shattered the illusion of Roman supremacy and changed the course of European history forever. The Romans faced an enemy unlike any they had conquered before. The Goths, hardened survivors, nomads driven from their homes by the relentless advance of the Huns, had come to the empire's gates not as mere raiders, but as a tide of desperation and vengeance. Led by the formidable Fritigern, Gothic warriors had learned to fight with cunning and ferocity. Wielding long swords and heavy shields, their horsemen ready to sweep across the field like a storm. Emperor Valens, desperate to reclaim Roman honor and restore order to the eastern provinces, assembled his legions, heavy infantry bristling with pila and gladi, archers ready to darken the sky, cavalry prepared to strike with thunderous force. Confidence ran high, forged by centuries of victory. Yet beneath the surface, cracks had begun to form. The legions, stretched thin by endless wars and internal strife, faced supply shortages and waning morale. The officers, arrogant and complacent, underestimated their enemy, believing Roman discipline alone would decide the day. The armies met outside Adrianople, the sun beating down on shimmering armor and leather. The air crackled with tension. The Romans advanced, shields locked together in the famous testudo formation, their battle cries echoing across the plain. But these were not the legions of old. The Gothic camp lay just ahead, seemingly vulnerable, with wagons and families visible. Valens, eager for a swift victory, ordered his men forward, unaware that Fritigern had laid a deadly trap. From behind the Gothic lines, thousands of cavalry emerged, fresh and unbloodied, thundering into the flanks of the Roman formation. The discipline of the legions began to falter. The ground trembled beneath the charge, dust choking the air, screams rising as Roman soldiers fell beneath the savage blows of Gothic swords. Panic swept through the ranks. While some legionaries stood their ground, locked together in desperate brotherhood, others turned and fled, pursued relentlessly by the berserk fury of the Gothic horsemen. The battlefield became a slaughterhouse. Roman officers caught in the chaos shouted orders lost in the din. The emperor himself, Valens, fought with the remnants of his guard, refusing to leave his men. But the tide could not be turned. Encircled and cut down, the flower of Roman military might was hacked apart, their banners trampled into the dust. The sun set over a field littered with the dead. 20,000 Roman soldiers gone in a single afternoon, and the emperor's fate sealed in fire, his body never recovered. The shock of Adrianople rippled across the empire. The myth of Roman invincibility was shattered. No longer could the emperors rely on the old ways, the unstoppable legions that had forged an empire. Enemies watched from beyond the frontiers, sensing weakness, emboldened by the carnage. The Gothic victory marked the beginning of the end, the slow unraveling of Roman power that would echo for centuries. What happened next shocked even hardened veterans. The gates of Rome itself would one day be thrown open to barbarian conquerors. The warriors who broke the legions at Adrianople changed the course of history, and the blood of that single battle stained the destiny of Europe. The legacy of the Roman Empire, forged by 1,000 years of warfare, would never be the same. And as the fires of Adrianople burned into the night, the world wondered, could Rome ever rise again?